Morning guys, look what I got off Timu, a captain's uniform. We're going to talk about uh, how to program the aircraft basically to land anywhere really. Um, First of all, on your initial getting into the aircraft, we can come down here and set up a few things. And one of them is your altitude by pressing B. That'll correct us on here, you see. It's us the right altitude. Then we want to set up an altitude we want to say climb to. So the little one will do um, the smaller heights, and the inner one does the bigger ones. So 3,300. Then you have your climb rate. So if you do your climb rate on here, we can put the nose up 200, and this magenta line will show you how far high that's going. That's a bit too high. You notice how it's off the 10, so they down a little bit. 100 will do. 0, 100. Yeah, it's still going to do it, so I think 200 is safe. Right, so next we set up the heading. So now on this one, if you click it twice, sometimes it goes centralized, but not on here this time. So we rotate it around. Like so. And that is us on the runway heading. So basically, we're ready to go. I'm going to just put a little bit of flaps on. Get this little aircraft operational. I thought my head tracker was installed, but it's not, so we'll struggle. So once we get up into the white zone, we can just gently raise it. And once we're on airborne, we can go to autopilot and call the heading. And what's going to happen is that on those two items, we are going to climb 3,000 without putting any altitude on, 200 feet a minute, which is fairly slow for this aircraft, but we can up it easy enough by doing the upwards to 300. That will actually get it up, but we've got to keep an eye on here. We'll put our flaps up. That gets us a little bit more speed to play with. And once you're in a settled area, what will happen is we're going to go over to programming. So on here on the mapping, it shows you where we are in relation. Yeah. So if we zoom out on the map, all the way out, these areas here, the purple, the triangles, are actually ways into airports. So that will come in that way and down, downward to the airport. So what we need to do is find a airport that we want to go on. So let's come up here and we'll have a look at the VR map. And that down here, and it'll show you, hopefully, I'll put these on, where we are. Okay. As we scroll outwards, will we find any airfields? I'll probably pick the lousy area to go in actually. There's one up here. What's this one? So we have GMSI. So what we've got can come down here is, oops, got a little bit of a red zone going. We'll bring it back down to the green. We'll be fine. So on here we press this button and it'll give us an identification. So as we do the outer one, we can bring that round to G, which is G, and then M. So we'll move it with a big one across to the right or clockwise, and then go to M. And then S. So move across one, come back to this one, go to S. S, and the final one on the list is I. It's actually come up with I, so that's fine. And we press enter, and then enter again to activate that thing. So now, by going into navigation, the aircraft will start to turn on the heading for that particular airport, all while holding the altitude, or still climbing the altitude we asked it for. Okay, your next step after here is, if you do the procedure and select an approach by pressing enter, it will show you how it's going to be going. Now it's recommending 18 or 36. So if you come back across here, the wind is at 2.7 at 6 knots. So the best runway here would be 3.6, because 2.5 is a heading. It's a rough heading. So here's 3.6. We press enter, and then we got the vectors. Now vectors are where air traffic take you around the block. What I normally do is come down to straight, and you press enter again. Then we come down to activate and enter again. It warns you to stay clear of obstacles while here. This is not for that, but it will get the aircraft to the airport. And you press enter again. So now we have our plan done and how it's going to get us into the airport. It tells us the height we should be at. We are at 3,100. So by the final, which is up here, we need to get to 2,223 feet. Okay, so what we can do is come up to our heights, which is altitudes, and it wanted this to 2,500, and then we will put the visual, take it down to about -100. That'll take us down slowly. Got that hill across there, so we're all right. We're going to get across this corner here, gradually descending. Interesting. So as we get towards the destination, which will be in 24 miles only, so about 13 minutes at our present speed, which is fine. We're right in the uniform though. Cool. You can use the mic to hold your tie. Let's see where we are here. Tracking PWD. Well, it's not got me tracking on there, but never mind. GPS tracking. Are we on there? No, we're not. So you can do this setup for even certain grass strips you can set up to get into an angle where you can get straight in. You still miss the runway on a grass one, but it shows you where it should be. It lines you up so you can get your final landing on a grass slip, say at 900 feet, and there's no obstacles. It'll line you up on the runway, and it'll bring you down straight on that runway. Rule of thumb is that the wind direction to where at the minute is 248. That's heading, so you need to come in on a 3-6 heading. So we should be coming down at the minute, only coming down very slowly. We're clear of any major issues. We've got some ambers up here. Red is we're going to hit it. Black is we're clear. Green is we're okay. And the yellow is a warning. So I don't know if I can dare come down a little bit faster. Let's just bring it down, see what happens. I can see the hills on the centre dashboard. So hopefully we won't hit it, but looking at this, I might too. So let's just we'll just hold it here. Altitude hold 2000. We'll hold it in a minute because I don't like the looks of these hills. Although I've got that up here, when you hit the altitude, it stops it. So we're stopped at 3000. Let's have a look at the external. That's what we're flying. Yeah, they're a lot lower. Cool. A little bit rocky in the old air here. So flight sim's a very good way of actually learning the basics of flying. Anyway, if you were going to go down that route, for us, it's fun. It is fun. This yellow patch here is that what you can see ahead of us. We should clear it. There's a red peak across here somewhere, which is quite high. Yes, across there. So we wouldn't clear that, but we are clearing this one. We've got the tailwind of 4 knots, but it's slightly hitting the tail, so we're getting a rocking effect. No problem whatsoever. As we get further into this area up here, this one is one of the final turns, which is fine. What you find is that when you do a plan, your aircraft will never cross the line, the waypoint you set, because it's got to calculate the turn. So it usually turns before it gets to the point and gets you on your way. You think, oh, it's not working. Well, it is working. way out places here. The fun thing about flight sim is you can do jobs and what have you, and feel the parts and congratulate you, pay you, all well and good. Just turn the landing lights off actually. So as you can see from here, we are going across here and we have some rather bumpy areas here, which is across on our left here, and then we've got a little bit of a gap over here externally. Ding, ding, ding. So you can see here we're going right down the middle, which is great. Our air path should be across that way. So once we are coming across this edge, we're about halfway across, I will reinstigate the nose down. So take it down very slowly. Because the airfield doesn't look particularly far. Yeah, we're over the edge now, so I can start bringing that down. We want to set the altitude to about 1,500. I should really pull up the information on the airport, what its altitude is. But we're coming up with this thing, so I'm just going to slow the aircraft down slightly. On the turn, flaps are up. Got some large hills to the right, which is warning me about. These ones here, the aircraft would hit the red ones. But yeah, so we've got a turnage coming up. So it doesn't look too bad actually. It's going to come into the straight, it's going to turn and run straight down to runway 236. So really after this one, I will do another one in a couple of hours for you to look at, and that's information you need when you set up a flight, so we're just coming down to the straight. I'm just going to bring the range in a little bit. So this is a straight in, and the top of defense, the top's there, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit faster. Top of defense there. Now that is the altitude you want to be at before you land. I can't remember what it is, but we'll be going over that on the next video to give you that information when you set this up. Okay, so I'm going to hold the altitude because that's getting rather close. Let's do the altitude there. There we are. I think it was 2,100 actually on the final approach, which is over here somewhere. This is a nice aircraft to fly. So you've got your straight coming up now. We're in the blue lines you see there are air traffic control. So outside the zone, you're on open air. I mean, so if I did that, don't know why I haven't got any sound on there. I think I've got that off. We'll leave that for now because I think I switched the sound of air traffic off because I was using the other one, ATC one. Just watching our speed there drop into 82 at the minute, so I just got to keep that online. Take it up to about 90-ish because we're going to be turning into a side wind which will blow the aircraft to the right. So I'll keep the speed up just in case. We can see the airfield on the center display across here. It must be over to my left. Yeah, that way for you. Those little houses up there, maybe it's the airport, maybe. We'll be starting the turn, so it's got to be across that way. It's on our maps, yeah. Oh, I see it. It's a big one up there, man. Can't go wrong. So here we go to the turn for a straight. So far, we haven't come off autopilot, so, you know, here we go. Once she's in the final, it should be lined up on the runway, no hands. Once we're in line up, we can wait till it gets down to straight if you want, or you can take autopilot off and land it yourself. So we're coming down here on the range. So final is coming up in less than a mile, half a mile. So what we'll do is we'll take autopilot off. It will warn me, and we'll reduce our speed. Put our landing lights on. Generally, we're into land. I mean, once you've learned how the plane works, you can have some fun with flights. You know, you can have your cup of tea and your bacon sarnie while you're flying, and just do your flights. Let the plane do what it has, which is what you do in real life. Autopilots even can land the aircraft, and taxi the aircraft. The pilots are a little bit careful of anything going wrong. Here we go. That crosswind is still hitting the aircraft, but it's only down to 7 knots, so we're not doing too bad. It doesn't look a lot to be here, so we'll bring the aircraft down. How are we doing? Oh, it's all going red, so we're nearly on the ground. Nice little landing. Fall back the blue one. Bring our speed down. little bit of a stalling with flight sim, which is a bugger, especially when you're landing. Kind of cocks everything up. Well, there you go. So I hope that helps. I'll do another one in a bit on how to save flight. So looking at this, we've got to do a U-turn. So we'll do a U-turn on the runway. Come back down here. There's absolutely nothing here. You can look at the maps on here are quite good, so you can see where your taxiways are if you zoom in. Looks like one coming up here. Lots of trees. Slow down here. Come off here. There's not a great view here. Oh, what are you doing there? Are you from me? Oh, you are. All by himself. Oh, we'll swing around and use him then. See if he's going to wave us. Where's he gone? Well, he's not interested. We'll just park here. Right. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll switch everything off, and I am glad you were along. Cheers.